Right. So we've inserted a single record. We removed the record. Let's now start playing around with the finders. You can find objects by their unique identifier. Right. So for instance, find can take as argument an object, right, a JSON object with a name value pair, right, and then which will be used to pattern match what the particular field matches that particular pattern. Okay. Obviously, if you're pattern matching against a unique identifier, this comes back with a single object that matches that criteria. You can also pattern match against other fields, right? You can pattern match against a username, first name, last name. You can also use ranges. You can use Boolean operators and or not. So you can get fairly complex with your where clause, right? But the where clause is the first argument, right? So the first argument to the find method is the where clause, right? The criteria to filter the records that you want. Okay. So here, if I insert, if we insert somewhere else, so we insert maybe correctly, we insert first name Bob and last name Hope, and we have a find. Notice that we have two, but if we ask for one specific one, we can say only give me the one whose username is Bob. Then it only returns Bob, right? Now the second argument, find, has a second argument, right? The second argument to find. So the first one is the where clause, yes, which allows you to put all sorts of Boolean operators. Okay? The second argument is a projection, right? A projection is which fields do you want? Maybe you don't want all of them. Right now, by default, all the fields come back. Right? But you can decide which ones you want and which ones you don't want. You can list all the fields that you do want with a 1, right? And the fields that you do not want with a -1. Right? So let's take a look at that. So for instance, here it retrieves all the fields, but I can specify that I really only want the username. Oh, no, not in pretty, sorry. Here, as my second argument, is a second JSON object. And I can say that I only want the first name, say. Only the first name with a 1. Okay? Okay, notice that, indeed, only the first name came back. Notice that the username is not there, the last name is not there, but the underscore ID is there. Okay? So by default, even if you don't ask for the underscore ID, you get it anyways. Right? Only if you explicitly say that you do not want a field, right, you can also specify which fields you don't want. Right? So for instance, you could say instead, sorry, I think it's 0 then. There is. Notice that I can't. So if I say 1 means that that's the only field I want. If you say a 0 is the field that I don't want. Okay. So if you combine these two ideas, where you have only want the first name, notice that you get the first name and the ID, and you can specify that I do not want the IDs. Underscore ID 0. Notice that now I only really get just the first name. Make sense?